Hi guys, welcome back to Movie Chat and more. And if you're here for the very first time, welcome. It's good to have you here. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 ideal party guests. Now, these aren't going to be relatives or friends or anything like that. They, it's like a celebrity list, okay? So if you're wondering why you're not on here, if you're a friend of mine or a relative of mine, I don't want you here. I'm, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is just a theory list. I'm never going to meet these people in real life. I'm certainly never going to have them over to my house as party guests. But if I could, these would probably be. I do have a list. These would probably be the top 10 guys and girls I would invite. And it's all fantasy, okay. Anyway, let's crack on. Number one, party guest. My first invite would be none other than my all-time Hollywood number one icon, Mr. Sylvester Stallone. Many reasons for this. I've loved the guy ever since I was, knee-high to a grasshopper, Yeah, the Rocky movies, the Rambo movies. I prefer the Rocky movies. I like the Rambo movies, and he's done other great films as well. Cliffhanger, 1993, I think that was. He's a Demolition Man. He was great in that, alongside the brilliant Wesley Snipes. Well, he was a good action man. Wesley Snipes. I'm not talking about the man, okay? I'm talking about the actor. Yeah, Stallone. And I love the rags to riches story that Stallone has to tell. I mean, we're talking about a guy who barely had a penny to his name when he wrote Rocky in 3 days. And Stallone will be the first to tell you he didn't write the script Rocky in 3 days. He wrote a thing in 3 days, an idea. He went to see the Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner fight on CCTV in a cinema, I think. Came back and got the idea of this low class. When I say low class, I don't mean low class person. I mean low class boxer, street fighter kind of guy, and who does good. But as you may or may not know, the finalized script was very different from what Stallone had envisioned. Anyway, I'm not going to go into details about all that. I love Stallone, always have, and always will. And yeah, he would be my number one party invite. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, I've always been a fan and always will be. The rags to riches story, it's very inspiring. It gets to me. And he's very good at writing that kind of stuff too. Not just in Rocky, but in other movies. And he's very good at telling those kind of redemption stories. Yeah. Stallone, number one. Cracking on. Now, this one is going to be very controversial, I believe. My number two party invite, Charlie Sheen. That's right, Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Now, again, I've been a fan of Sheen ever since I was a kid. I loved the movie The Wraith. I know Charlie is not a big fan of that film, but I've got good memories attached. Excuse me. I've got good memories attached to that movie, The Wraith. And of course, Hot Shots is very funny, a little bit dated now. I hate using that word dated, but it is. Yeah, Charlie Sheen. And of course, the winning, yeah, I love that. If you want proof, I'm not sure if this is going to pick up very well on camera. I'm trying to. It's upside down. I can't. I can't bend my. I can't bend my arm that way. Anyway, see it? Winning. I had that done quite a few years ago now, and yeah, it's. Put it this way. Back in 2011, when that catchphrase, if you will, became very popular, uh, I was going through a time in my life where everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people who I associated myself with were telling me everything I was doing was wrong, basically. Don't do that, do this. And if you do this, do it that way. Don't do it this way, do it that way. Oh, by the way, what you did yesterday, you should have done that today. And what you're going to do tomorrow, don't do that tomorrow, do that right now. Oh, you know? And being pushed around and shoved around. And I was around a friend's place in 2011, and I came home. I got so sick and tired of all this do's and don'ts. I just wanted to live my life my way, and I think that's the way we all should. As long as we're not breaking the law or hurting anybody, then we should live our lives the way we see fit. Anyway, I came home from my friend's place that night, and I don't know how this happened, but I switched on YouTube, and I don't remember watching any Charlie Sheen YouTube videos before that night. But a recommendation came up, and it was the now legendary, almost iconic interview with Andrea Canning. Andrea Canning, yeah. And you can tell Charlie, he's clean. He wasn't on drugs anymore. He had a drug test during the interview. Well, not during it. That might have been a bit embarrassing. But he came up clean. But he was still, I think, coming down, I think they call it. And you could tell. And he looks back on those days and he says he doesn't recognize himself. He's kind of embarrassed about it all. And, you know, of course, some people can say you reap what you sow. And I'm just going to take these glasses off for a second. I just want to, wow. I just want to make sure the sun isn't interfering with the video too much. I think it's okay. Yeah, I'm not wearing sunglasses today because of a heavy Friday night. I haven't had a heavy Friday night. It's I've been unwell recently. I've had a tummy bug and a fever, and again, I have been getting very bloodshot eyes. So I think they're okay now, but the sun is hurting my eyes. I just wanted to check. Anyway, back. I'm going off on tangents again. I do that, and I apologize for that. Yeah, so the whole winning thing. Yeah, I mean, people can say whatever they want about you reap what you sow. You probably know what Charlie Sheen is going through right now. He is HIV positive, but I don't think he deserved that. I truly don't. It, it, it people can judge all they want. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I remember when Charlie Sheen was diagnosed a couple of years back, 2, 3 years ago. It became public, common knowledge, and a lot of people were going on Facebook and YouTube or whatever, or any kind of Twitter, and making sick jokes about this, and it got to me. It really did. It really got on my nerves, because this is something we don't know how it happened. Okay, Charlie had, at the time, he was living a very promiscuous lifestyle, but he didn't deserve that, okay? And I'm not saying anyone deserves that. So when people came online making jokes about someone, being diagnosed HIV positive, I thought it was very sick and twisted. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say about that. But on a positive note, the last time Charlie Sheen was checked, there were no signs of HIV in his blood. So, fingers crossed, he's going to be okay. I really hope so, because he's one of my top Hollywood idols, and he's the Hollywood bad boy, and I love that, and for all the wrong reasons probably, but I love that. And I don't believe, in my personal opinion, I don't believe he ever hit a lady. If I thought he ever did do that, I wouldn't be a fan. I, I'm totally against that kind of violence within a relationship, or that kind of violence altogether. So I don't believe Charlie Sheen ever laid his hands on a lady. I just don't believe he did. Anyway, cracking on with the list. Winning. Cracking on. I do have a list. I don't want to leave people out. I probably will. I wrote down 10 names here and that are going to be invited to my party, and I'm going to forget people probably, but it's going to be a top 10. This isn't a top 15. Like, I was playing around with the idea of 10, 15, maybe 20, top 10. And they're in no particular order apart from those first two. So number 3, Jamie Lee Curtis. So it's not going to be a total sausage fest after all. Jamie Lee Curtis, the original Scream Queen. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know I'm a big Halloween fan and a big horror movie fan. And Jamie Lee Curtis, 1978, Halloween, and of course, John Carpenter's The Fog. And she was also in a horror movie I wasn't so keen on, called Terror Train. But Jamie Lee Curtis, I've seen her in interviews on DVDs and on TV as well, and she's very witty. She's very funny. I think she gets that probably from her dad, Tony Curtis. Maybe her mum too, Janet Leigh, who, by the way, of course, some people could argue was the original Scream Queen, Janet Leigh, her mum, of course, in the shower scene in 1960s Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. But I don't remember Janet Leigh in any other horror films before that or after that. If I'm wrong, comment down below and let me know. It's the only way I'm going to learn. But Jamie Lee Curtis is widely considered the original Scream Queen. And I would love to just shoot the breeze with the lady, and tell her what a fan I am and how long I've been a fan, and ask her a few questions about the new Halloween film. Who wouldn't? And, of course, the Halloween from 1978 and the sequel in 1981 and Halloween H2O. Probably wouldn't bring up Halloween Resurrection too much. She wasn't in it very long. But I do believe that was her choice. I think the agreement was, yep, okay, I'll come back for Halloween Resurrection, but I don't want to be the star of the movie. Could be wrong, but there's only one way you can tell me. Comment down below. But I don't think I am wrong. Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis, that's number 3 on my list. Number 4, let's have a look. It's David Blaine. In my opinion, the greatest magician that ever lived, and probably the greatest magician that ever will live. Now, I can't talk about Harry Houdini. I wasn't there. Can't imagine why. No, but David Blaine, another very controversial figure in some ways. Uh, yeah, I mean, the card tricks, the street magic. I'm not talking so much about the endurance things he does, like being frozen in ice, although that was unbelievable. And I think it was real. I don't think it was fixed. I don't think it was a scam like a lot of people do. I do believe David Blaine spent all that time in a block of ice and somehow survived. Maybe he's different. I'm a big believer that a lot of us can tap into parts of our brain that the majority of us can't. And I think David Blaine is one of those people. And what do they say about how many parts of our brain do we actually use? I mean, I probably use less than most, but you know what I'm saying? 1/3 of our brain, is it, we use? I do believe some people have the ability to tap into the rest and do things that are remarkable. But anyway, like I say, with Blaine, I remember it was Christmas Eve, 1999, 2000 maybe, something along, yeah, something along those lines. And I was watching at the time the first ever David Blaine Street Magic TV show, TV special, and it was the one where he's talking with Leonardo DiCaprio every now and then, and no one knew who David Blaine really was at the time. So he would approach strangers in the street and say, "But do you want to see something? With a deck of cards." And it was I never seen card tricks like that before. Close-up magic. I had never even heard the phrase close-up magic before that night, and it blew me away. And the levitation. The levitation is, yeah, I mean, since then, I mean, for years I said David Blaine could levitate. I did. And now we know, well, now I know there are ways to do that, and yeah, okay, David Blaine probably can't float. But maybe he can. Yeah, I know I sound like an insane person just saying that, but maybe David Blaine, who knows? I mean, so many people have tried to follow in the footsteps of Blaine, and so many people have done well at it. I'm not going to name names. But to me, they are David Blaine rip-offs. That's all they're going to be, to me, always. Blaine was the first to do this live, well, not so much live, but this close-up magic in the middle of New York to total strangers. And if I'm wrong on that, if I am wrong on that, then correct me. I stand to be corrected, but I do believe Blaine was the first. Well, put it this way, I do believe David Blaine was the first to make it high-profile TV viewing. On that, I'm pretty positive. So, yeah, I would love to meet the guy. I really would. Party guest, I mean, can you imagine David Blaine? I mean, he'd probably steal the party, but I'm not looking at it that way, Can you imagine he's in the corner, he's got a deck of cards, and he's doing these tricks, and can you imagine? Everybody would just be watching him, would they not? And I'll be sitting there drinking my beer, and I'm thinking, well, Dave, I invited you. Anyway, cracking on with the list. Okay, this next one, you're either going to know this guy, or you're not going to know this guy, or you may think, oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to rattle on. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Former WWE superstar. Professional wrestler from 1985 to 2010. His last match in the WWE was against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I can't actually remember the WrestleMania. because he had back-to-back WrestleMania matches with The Undertaker. But anyway, yeah, I've been a Shawn Michaels fan for years, especially the years of Degeneration X. And I'm not talking just 2006 Degeneration X and onwards. I mean the original DX that began in 1997, when things were very much unscripted. And Shawn would just come out and rip the living you-know-what out of anyone and anything. And Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, is the greatest wrestler that ever lived. Just ask him, he'll tell you. Anyway, Shawn Michaels, yeah, he would have to be at my party. I've been a fan for so long. There's so many questions I would have for him. He's a born-again Christian, and that's his prerogative, and it seems to have saved his life, because before he was born again, he was on drugs and drinking way too much, and his lifestyle was spiraling out of control. He was a married man with a child, but it didn't seem to stop him. And then somebody said to him, "Do you want Jesus Christ in your life?" And he said, "Yeah, you know what? I think I do." And ever since then, he's been a changed man. And he returned to the WWE after 4 years. He left due to a severe back injury in 1998, came back 4 years later in 2002, and stuck around and did well. And he was just as every bit as entertaining as he always was. But to be honest, I do and always will prefer the Shawn Michaels of old, the degenerate Shawn Michaels, the unhealthy Shawn Michaels. But I'm glad he got over that. Anyway, cracking on with the list, we have now John Bon Jovi. Yeah, John Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, my favorite band of all time. I love all kinds of music, however. I love everything from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and that's probably where it stops. Now, there's some good stuff from 2000 and onwards, but these days there's not much that comes out that really grabs my attention. And when it does, I call that song or that artist or that band a diamond in the rough. Anyway, John Bon Jovi, yeah, lead singer of Bon Jovi. Real name, John Bon Jovi. You may or may not know that. You probably do if you're a fan. And yeah, I mean, this guy he's been around since forever. The first Bon Jovi album was 1984, simply called Bon Jovi. Great album. Runaway, She Don't Know Me, Roulette, I think, was on that album too. Great album. My personal favorite Bon Jovi album is... This is tough. There's two. These Days from 1995. Very moving album. And John didn't want it to be that way. John wanted These Days to be a very, how do I put it, uplifting, easygoing album. But These Days turned out to be quite gritty. So 5 years later, when John and the guys came back with the album called Crush, was Crush the one with It's My Life? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Crush. He made sure that album was very much uplifting and very easy listening, if you want to call it that. Why would I want him at my party? Well, he's just a cool guy. He's so laid back, and he seems to be the kind of guy who would be very easy to talk to. He seems to be friendly, and I love to talk to him, obviously, about his music. I would probably ask him about Richie Sambora, who is no longer a part of Bon Jovi. but he was a founding member of the band. It was John and Richie who began Bon Jovi way back in the day, I believe. So I might touch on that, and it might piss him off, but you know, this is all fantasy anyway, guys. You know, it's fantasy role play, whatever. So on with the list. My next party guest, Larry David, star and creator or co-creator of Curb Your Enthusiasm and co-creator of Seinfeld. I prefer Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now, if this guy's anything like in Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David plays a very much exaggerated version of himself. He hasn't really got much time for anybody. Now, the guy in real life is nothing like that. From what I've seen, he's very friendly, he's very nice, he's very cool, he's nothing like the Larry David we see in Curb Your Enthusiasm. And if you haven't watched that show, please check it out. It's hilarious. Yeah, I would love to have Larry David there. I would love to talk to him about the differences between, excuse me, I would love to talk to Larry about the differences between his who he really is and who he portrays in Curb Your Enthusiasm. And amongst other things, I would love to ask him if he has any plans on making a new season, because the last season was number 9 and it was very funny. Hasn't missed a beat. And yeah, I've been a fan of Larry David now for probably over 10 years. And he's just a very funny guy and very talented. Very, very talented. Like I said before, I love Seinfeld. No. I don't love Seinfeld, but I really, really like it. Now, I think Larry David broke ties with Seinfeld after season 7. And you can tell, because I think Seinfeld ended on season 9. And I haven't seen a lot of 8 and 9 because I watched the first 10 episodes, I think, of season 8, and you can tell Larry David isn't there anymore. His fingerprints are not on the humor like they were from seasons 1 to 7. I think 7 was when Larry said, "That's it. I'm calling it a day, and good luck, guys, and I'm out." It may have ended more bitter than that. I hope not. It may have ended a bit more. I don't think it did, because as far as I know, he's still good friends with Jerry Seinfeld, so hopefully things ended amicably. Anyway, on with the list. My next party guest. Now, Madonna. Okay, Madonna. Icon. Legend. What hasn't been said about Madonna, good and bad, that I can possibly add. Madonna, very strong-willed lady, and I've got so much admiration and respect for what she does and for what she's done in the music industry, and the way she has an uncanny knack of reinventing herself. Every time she comes back with a new album, she's somebody else. I mean, she's been a dominatrix. She's been a bullfighter's girlfriend, kind of. She's been a cowgirl. Every time she's been a hippie in a good, not that there's a bad way. I'm just saying, she was once hippified, and God, that sounds even worse. Every time Madonna can make some kind of comeback, it's always successful, And she's always been successful for those reasons, I believe. She reinvents herself every time. That being said, my favorite Madonna era would have to be the 80s. Songs like Like a Virgin, Borderline, Material Girl, Holiday. Those are my favorite Madonna songs. Why would I want her at my party? Well, simple answer to that, why wouldn't I? Keep it simple. Why wouldn't I? I could talk to the lady all day, but she probably wouldn't let that happen. It would probably be like after 10 minutes, it'd be like, okay, give me some room, back off and go and talk to one of the other guests. I just want to do my own thing. I appreciate the invite, Rich, but just give me some space, dude. But no, Madonna, icon. Love Madonna. Anyway, on with the list. How many left? Only two left. Okay, number nine. Number 9, like I said, apart from number 1 and 2, which was Stallone, number 1, and Charlie Sheen, number 2. These are not in any order. Number 9, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, very selfish reasons. I like the guy. I liked his earlier movies like A-War and Kickboxer was brilliant, fantastic. Probably, yeah, Kickboxer probably my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme film. Bloodsport was great too. But very selfish reasons I want him there. Now, I am a red belt in karate, but that was a long time ago. So I would, some point during the party, I would love to pull him to one side and say, can you give me some tips? It's really just a few simple, nothing, I'm never going to be, some kind of human fighting machine like you are. Wow, that would sound ass-kissing, wouldn't it? But no, I wouldn't put it that way. I would just say, I've got a lot of respect for what you do, and what you've done over the years, and can you give me just a few tips on, like, if some loser wants to attack me for no reason whatsoever, and have you got? I mean, I'm not saying I can't defend myself in that kind of situation, because I can. But I would love to know a few of Van Damme's tips, and just a few very quick ones, And yeah, that's why I'd want it. Like I said, it's a very selfish reason, I know. But it's not just that. I'm a big fan of his films, his earlier films. Not such a big fan of stuff like Time Cop, and I do think there's a Kickboxer 2 or a remake or something he did. I haven't seen that yet, so I'm not going to judge it. But it doesn't sound anything like the original Kickboxer back in the 80s. So, yeah, Van Damme, number 9. Last one, Emma Bunton. Emma Bunton, aka Baby Spice. How old is she now? She's got to be 42, I believe. I think she's 42. Let me work this out. 1976, 86, 96, 2006, 2016, 17. Yeah, so she's 4. Yeah, 7, 8. My maths is really bad. Okay. Emma Bunton, yeah, 40. Yeah, 42 years old. I'm still trying to work it out secretly. So, well, not so secretly. Yeah, I've been a fan since I was like 17 years old. I absolutely adored the Spice Girls, and I still like the Spice Girls. Not as much as I did back then, but I was obsessed with, truly, with Emma Baby Spice Bunton. She was gorgeous, and she still is. She had a very sweet singing voice, and still does. last time we heard. Uh, and she's just a very sweet person. She does a lot for charity. Uh, she just seems like a nice person. I use that term, nice. I say it a lot, but what's wrong with being nice? You know, like I said in previous videos, there's nothing wrong. Better to be nice than to be nasty, right? Yeah, and like I say, she does a lot for charity and children's charity as well, which I think is cool, very admirable. You know, admirable. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I would love to be able to ask her, did you ever get that box of chocolates I sent you? Because I did. I was 17 or 18. I'm 38 now. Okay. I was about 17 or 18 years old, and I sent Emma Bunton. This sounds so sad. I know it is, kind of, but I was young, you know, and in love. I thought, yeah, I know, and I sent Emma Bunton via agent a box of chocolates, and the box of chocolates actually had, it was one of those cone Quality Street, I think, roses maybe, and it had a picture of the Spice Girls on the front, and I sent it to her. I doubt very much she ever received it, and even if she did, a box of chocolates from a complete stranger, would you eat them? But you know, yeah, she's just one of my teenage idols, kind of. Not really an idol. I never wanted to be Baby Spice, but you know, yeah, you know what I mean. Uh, it's a long-term love affair with Emma Bunton, and she's still very sweet. Like I say, to this day, she's very nice. Anyway, guys, that's my top 10. I'm going to be thinking of others, but I'm not going to be doing another video about this because what I want to do next, I'm not too sure. I want to try and cut out the preview videos because I do get ideas. Sometimes they're good. I like to think. But then I think, oh, wait a minute. I've just done a preview video saying my next video is going to be about this. So not that I don't enjoy what I do and my videos, and I hope the most important thing is you enjoy them. It doesn't matter what I think. You're the one watching, so if you enjoy it, I enjoy talking to you guys, don't get me wrong, but I like talking to you guys about things that I'm passionate about in the moment. This is great. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you have too. Well, I really do. But I don't want to. I don't want to make any more preview videos because when inspiration hits me and I suddenly feel very passionate about something, I don't want to be held to what I said my last video. Excuse me. I don't want to be held to what I said is going to be my next video by doing preview videos. No matter how much I've enjoyed doing this and sharing this with you guys today. For instance, I was watching World Cup today. The World Cup's on at the moment. If you're watching this in a couple of months, it won't be. But today, which is the 16th, I'm just checking the 16th of June 2018, and Australia versus France. And every time there's a goal or some kind of iffy decision, they go to the VAR. Now, VAR is going to kill football. Now, I don't mean it's going to kill it forever, but it's turning the game of football, or soccer, as you may know it. In England, we call it football, but you know, I'm English. It's football. I mean, you may think, is this guy, you know, Was he born in America? No, no, I wasn't. English through and through, and it's football to us. But this VAR, every time a decision, it's like one of the commentators even said, they're using this technology like a kid with a new toy. And it's ridiculous, and it's killing football. And I was going to do a video about that because I was in the moment. But no, I wanted to do this, and I've enjoyed this party guest list more than you know. And I hope you have too. More so than I have, because like I said, you're the one who's watching, not me. So comment down below and let me know what you think about my top 10 party invites. And are any of yours the same? Are you thinking, why would he ever invite that person? That person's a jerk. That person's a waste of space. Then again, you may agree with a lot. You may want them at your party too. I'm guessing Jamie Lee Curtis, if you're a regular to my channel, Jamie Lee Curtis is probably going to be high on your invite list too. Could be wrong, but Halloween is the talk of the town when it comes to horror at the moment, and I'm loving it. I am. And like I said before, I think I was a little bit too harsh on the trailer. I think a lot of YouTubers were, and I've seen YouTubers do backtrack videos. I'm not going to do one of those. I've seen the trailer many times now to Halloween 2018, and I'm liking it more and more every time I watch it. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and like I always say, I really mean that. Thanks for tuning in. Comment down below, let me know what you think about this video and my top 10 party invites. Cheers, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all soon. Bye.